Let's bring him on. Kevin Clark, Wall Street Journal, Ringer. Guy knows his stuff. I believe you're the second or third Ringer guy I've had on.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, Simmons will never text me, but I bring all his employees on. So get over it, Bill. All right, so let's start today with Andrew Luck. I said this. Brady was great, 50 touchdowns.
Sure.
Got hurt, inactive, came back, was good. Following year, great. Michael Jordan goes to baseball, comes back, shoots 41%, next year MVP. I don't think, Kevin, you can go from, no matter who you are, total inactivity to taking over the league. I think Andrew's going to scrap a little this year, maybe?
It's offensive to the sport for everyone to think that Andrew Luck can come back and be the guy he was. There are literally thousands of people who are working every day to beat him. And so to come back and be 100%, to be the quarterback you were, to find those tight windows with a team, by the way, that's not out to beat the world without him, I think that just shows you it's going to take at least a calendar year. The last time Andrew Luck took a snap was the last time Colin Kaepernick took a snap. It was the same day.
Oh,
it's been that long. New Year's Day 2 years ago. And so I just think that you cannot come back and in the modern NFL be as sharp as you would be.
Okay, people said I was crazy when I said this. So when Hugh Jackson went 0-16, I said, keep him. And I said, he's not going to be – I know you think I'm crazy. But I said, right now, on a macro level, Cleveland is seen as a dumpster fire. If you give Hugh another year, it's telling every other coach and scout, listen, new day in town. We're not crazy. We're going to give an 0-16 guy another year. Because, frankly, Cleveland at this point is not going to get the best or second best guy in the market. Doug Peterson's not going to Cleveland. He's going to go to a better owner, right? So when I look at this, Joy is saying, and I think she could be right, Hugh's got to win like 7 games. That's why they're not putting Baker Mayfield with the ones.
Right.
There's a lot of people out there that believe that if Baker looks good with the ones, Hugh's stuck with a guy that's going to have a lot of bumps this year, Baker.
Tyrod is job protection in the short term.
Yes.
For Hugh Jackson. Because Taylor is the way you win 7, 8, 9 games this year. Baker is not. And I think that who's making the decision? In week 6 and week 7, does it become John Dorsey's decision? I spoke with John Dorsey last month. He says this is a 3-year rebuild. And I assume that means Baker Mayfield takes over week 1 of maybe the second season. And that's the plan right now. But if Tyrod isn't the guy and September looks a little bit murky, maybe there's a quick hook. I don't know. I mean, I just think it comes down to who's making the decision, Hugh Jackson or John Dorsey. Let's
go to the Jets, where you can see the gap between Flacco and Lamar. It's pretty obvious. Yeah. I think you can see the gap. Sam Bradford right now, to me, is better than Rosen. He's toying with these vanilla defenses. He's veteran quarterback. Tyrod Taylor's completing 75% of his throws. They're kind of toying with it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know today, I strongly believe that Bridgewater, when I watch him, is better than Sam. Sam's still a little fast, can be a little reckless. But the offensive line's garbage, and Teddy's a viable trade quarterback. You run the Jets, Kevin. You can get a starting right tackle and a draft pick for Teddy tomorrow. Do you make the deal?
That's the number one option here, is hope that a team panics and sends a second-round pick to you for Teddy Bridgewater. You take it in a second.
You do.
And you absolutely. And then you start Sam Darnold. That's the number one thing. I mean, it's not completely out of line with what happened when Teddy Bridgewater got hurt and the Vikings panicked and traded for Sam Bradford. That started this whole cycle
Good point.
Of NFC quarterbacks. So now you have this in the AFC. And I think that just generally that's the number one option for you. But if you want to start Teddy Bridgewater, you do for 8 weeks if nobody wants to take that trade. And the 2 best quarterbacks in the NFL right now, Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, what do they have in common? They sat. So it doesn't hurt. It can't hurt. I mean, I think that all of these rookie quarterbacks are long-term buys, and I think in 2020, 2021, they're going to maybe rule football. But I feel like in 2018, you're a little better off going with a Taylor, with a Bridgewater in the short term, rack up some wins, and let these guys learn.
2 big stars in this league. Let's start with Aaron Rodgers. You did, Kevin Clark, writer for The Ringer, formerly Wall Street Journal. You did a piece with Aaron Rodgers, and you said you're commissioner for a day. And we all know he went to Cal, very thoughtful guy.
Sure.
He'll get into politics. He knows a lot of music. I mean, he's a sharp dude. So you asked him commissioner for a day. First of all, your takeaway on Aaron and any idea that you loved.
Smartest guy in the sport. by a wide margin. That's my takeaway. I knew that coming in, and this only confirmed it. I brought up a lot of topics, and he had an answer for everything. Any place I went, he went to, and he just knew exactly what to say. I think the most intriguing thing was getting rid of the franchise tag.
Oh, God, I totally 100% agree. I hate that.
Because if you're a guy like Aaron Rodgers, you can be under control by the team for 3 years after your contract ends. It's ludicrous.
In the NBA, and I always use this name, Otto Porter has more leverage, and Otto's a nice player than Aaron Rodgers. It is outrageous.
Outrageous is exactly the term for it. And also, just from a league standpoint, think about how much a league can get a boost in the offseason when a superstar moves teams.
Kevin, we've been saying that. The NFL has smartly seen every month as real estate. They move their free agency to get some March love. Yep. Can you imagine if you had just one time a year, Aaron's on the market?
Yeah.
It's like LeBron.
The superstar quarterback should be the most famous thing in sports. And the only real in their prime starting quarterback who's moved in free agency in this era is Kirk Cousins. And it's ridiculous just from a marketing standpoint that you don't have a decision type thing with Aaron Rodgers. You don't have even a guy, Matt Ryan, who's not even a top 3, top 4 guy.
If he was on the market?
If he was on the market, where does he go? Is he going to write a letter? Is he going to go to the Boys and Girls Club?
I literally, Kevin, I give July now to the NBA. It used to be a baseball month. All I do is talk free agency. And my numbers, people are fascinated with B-plus players.
And they will be. And I just don't know why the NFL, who obviously the owners want to keep costs down and all of that, and they want to keep these guys in smaller markets. But I don't know if they have the long-term foresight to say, okay, this is something that's going to grow our game. If someone beyond Ndamukong Suh and Kirk Cousins switches teams, Marcus Peters switched teams, and it was a little bit of a wave. But you have to start getting a Matthew Stafford at 28 years old on the open market.
So NFL running backs. Ezekiel Elliott. People are saying, the running back's dead. And then I watched the Rams last year with Todd Gurley. And I know Jared Goff and Sean McVay. Gurley was the offense. Literally, in the 6 games that they just decided it's Todd's day, they went 6-0.
Yep.
Odell Beckham's best games don't translate to wins. Gurley was good. They're 6-0. What do you make of the running back position? Saquon Barkley went number 2. There were quarterbacks available.
The running back position is back, but not in the way we ever imagined it would be back.
What do you mean?
Running is dead. The running game is dead. The running back can catch a pass. The running back can get an open space and run these spread concepts. Todd Gurley and Alvin Kamara had over 750 receiving yards last year. That is really rare for 2 running backs in the same year to have that much over the last 20 years. It just doesn't happen. So guys are just swinging out of the backfield. Offenses have done a great job of spreading out defenses. And one of the things that does is open up these seams for these running backs. And so a guy like Gurley, Kamara, Zeke Elliott, if they can catch a ball out of the backfield, they can be as deadly as any receiver in the NFL.
We always bang on Cleveland, and I said this earlier. But I remember when in 2017, there were 8 or 9 quarterbacks available. And I came on the air and I said, I don't buy Mitch Trubisky. He couldn't start as a junior. I don't know how great Deshaun's going to be. I don't know if he's Cam's talent. And I don't know if, when I saw Andrew Luck, I was like, that's going to work. Deshaun Watson was available to Chicago.
Yeah.
And these were the guys available. And I remember Kevin Clark of The Ringer joining us. I remember saying at the time, listen, Nick Saban had 6 weeks twice and couldn't stop him. Johnny Manziel got drafted because he had one good game in Tuscaloosa. In fact, it was one good half. Deshaun Watson ate him alive with 6 weeks to prepare. Dabo called him Michael Jordan. Saban said, since Cam, best player I've seen in college football. If Deshaun Watson pops, is it going to be one of the all-time misses by NFL teams?
So let's stay on that analogy for a second. If Deshaun Watson is Michael Jordan, Trubisky's got a good chance, if he doesn't pop, to be Sam Bowie here. Because I just think that I think that the team, the Bears in general, there's a lot of hype building around them. And I think that that's because people see the Eagles model, which is young quarterback, offensive head coach. Let's surround the quarterback with talent and see what happens. But the lesson of the Eagles is not those things. It's to build the deepest roster in football. And the Bears don't have that. And Mitch Trubisky's not going to be surrounded with the guys that Carson Wentz or Nick Foles was surrounded by. It's not the same. So I feel like there could be a bit of a flop there. And then if Deshaun breaks out, which the last 6 games last season were unbelievable, if he breaks out, then we really start talking about that draft as a massive mistake.
Jon Gruden. I see you're mirror. I'm like, I don't know. I think he's quotable, but what's going to happen? I mean, it has this feeling, Kevin. It's going to be messy. That division, by the way, Denver's got 2 elite pass rushers.
Yeah.
Chargers are loaded. Kansas City's roster is frighteningly good. Could the Raiders be a disaster?
The sport of football reinvents itself now every 2 years, 3 years. The spread. I talked to Lincoln Riley a couple weeks ago. He said the Super Bowl was a Big 12 game. That's what it was. Shotgun offense, RPOs everywhere. And so since Jon Gruden last coached a game 10 years ago, the sport has changed 4 or 5 times over. Now, what the Raiders are betting on is that he's going to be able to get up to speed very quickly and that he was enough in the game in those production meetings that he understands the modern offense. But I think that he's almost like the Andrew Luck of coaches. He's got a lot of catching up to do. And I think that, this sport just changes so much that you just have to figure out a way to build a modern offense on the fly.
Kevin, I've said this before. It's like Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
2 years is 20.
Absolutely.
I mean, literally, it's like MySpace is dead. And Facebook is in big trouble. Like week to week, legislation, government coming down on social company. Like you can't be out of Silicon Valley for a decade. Now you can be in the envelope business for 50 years. I mean, there's certain things that just aren't fluid. They don't change a lot.
Yeah, without a doubt. I remember Mike Shanahan told me this in 2012. He said the iPads are going to change everything because you're going to be able to watch game film from Tuscaloosa High School, and you're going to be able to say, this is the play I want. You can install it on Sunday. You can do all of these things, and every coach Jon Gruden is going against has been doing that for 5 and 6 years. He's going to be caught flat-footed. He's like a safety. He's going to be caught flat-footed, and the train is coming the opposite way.
His name is Kevin Clark, formerly Wall Street Journal. Now he's at Billy Simmons' company called The Ringer. And you do great work. You do tremendous work. So go to theringer.com and do your thing there. It's excellent. It's dependable, and he's the dude for their NFL coverage. Coming up next, 2 teams. You love them. I don't. I'll tell you why. That's The Herd. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.